right, Kale, we got to get into makeup and get the show going. Hey.
What's going on? What's going on?
Do you know Overwatch came out today?
Oh, that come out? I've been speedrunning Dark Messiah, Might and Magic. Probably never heard of it.
You want to play Overwatch, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get this going then.
Please.
All right.
Hello, and welcome to the Hey. I like you, but I don't know you. Yet. Welcome to Endgame. We're going to engage you viewers in a video game discussion because we love video games and we want to do an in-depth discussion.
That's right, and Blizzard's Overwatch is out today.
Yes.
Yeah, and making it the second entry into the new genre of hero shooter. Battleborn was the first, but I think Battleborn plays a little bit more like a MOBA.
No. It's a first-person shooter. MOBAs are like top-down and stuff.
Right, totally, but it's kind of like because it's got minions and towers and gear like League of Legends or Dota 2, so it kind of emerged from them in a way.
Okay, but what does this have to do with emerging? What does that have to do with anything? I descended from primordial sea life. That doesn't make me an amphibian. I mean, I'm a good swimmer.
And that's up for debate, but this confusion is why we're going to have this discussion in the show later, not now, because we're about to see a lot more of these games hitting the marketplace.
Well, hopefully it'll be clear what a hero shooter is by the end of the episode.
It's going to, because our guest is former esports team owner Jesse Cox to join us so we can talk about MOBAs, esports, and given that he is a former history teacher, perhaps the acquisition of the Louisiana Territory in 1803, because it never gets old.
I love it. But before we do any of that, let's check out the thread.
When Star Wars Battlefront was released, players criticized the game's lack of a robust, narrative-driven single-player mode, which I have to be honest, seems like an accurate appraisal, especially for a property like Star Wars. But it looks like we have a little insight as to why they went down that route.
Yeah, finally. Last week during EA's Investor Day event, which I hear is cooler than Coachella, studio boss Patrick Soderlund admitted that it was a conscious choice to leave out a single-player campaign in order to time the launch with the release of The Force Awakens. In the past, though, forcing devs to release a game at the same time as a movie has hampered the game-making process for sure. When it comes to Battlefront, Soderlund said that they would course correct for future Battlefront titles, though, to be clear, there's no commitment for a single player, and EA already has 2 single-player Star Wars games in development. Meanwhile, Overwatch's release is exclusively multiplayer and generating a ton of buzz, and Blizzard seems unconcerned about any lack of campaign mode.
Seriously, they've got zero story mode at all, yet EA is like sweating on it.
Yeah, it's just fun to play.
I know, and then you got to think too, like movies and release titles been a little weird. Like when ET released, they like gave them 5 weeks to finish the game so that it would launch with Christmas, and then it crashed the video game industry. So
why'd you wait to release it to The Force Awakens and then have no Force Awakens content in the game?
So much anger. Last year when Batman Arkham Knight came out, there were people who loved it and people who hated it. But Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City are generally well regarded. Now, Warner Brothers and developer Rocksteady are hoping that you still maintain that enthusiasm for those 2 titles, enough to play them on your current-gen consoles, because they're re-releasing these puppies in a bundle called Batman Return to Arkham, which will sell for $50 and will include all of the DLCs for both titles.
This game also promises improved graphics, models, environments, lightings, effects, and shaders, thanks to an upgrade from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 4. Thanks, informative press release. Batman Returns to Arkham will return to stores July 26th. Hey, we'll just have gotten home from Comic-Con by then.
Comic-Con.
I'll have so much stuff.
Yeah, swag.
Okay, this may be hands down the strangest game movie tie-in ever. It looks like we're being treated to a cinematic realization of everyone's mom's favorite game, Tetris. Yes, Tetris is becoming a movie. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say movie? I meant trilogy of movies because, you know, there's that whole lure and back history of Tetris. The first film already has a budget of $80 million, and while there's no details yet on the plot, it's being billed as a sci-fi thriller. Because when I think of Tetris, of course it's a sci-fi thriller because blocks falling from the sky. Well, let's just speculate who will be the Tetraminos. How about Michelle Rodriguez as a badass L-shape that doesn't take no guff? Danny DeVito as a wisecracking four-square block?
Liam Neeson is a line, because he's very line-ish. He's like a leader.
Plus, Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he could be like the left squiggle, and then everyone at the end realizes he's actually the right squiggle, and he like totally screwed it up.
You don't fit there, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Also making the jump from video games to movies, Nintendo! In an interview with the Asahi News, Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima announced that they would be partnering with various studios and producing their own films. So not just licensing them out, they're actually making them. So for now, there are apparently no plans for any of these flicks to be live action. Perhaps the memories in the box office of 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie are still fresh in their minds.
While no specific projects were announced, they did mention they want to use an IP that's popular with everyone. With beloved IPs like Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and Donkey Kong, it's pretty much anyone's guess what they're thinking of. There's proof of IP success in the astronomical sums people are willing to spend on amiibo figures, which sold $1.7 billion in 7 months. People love them some Nintendo characters.
Especially Adam Sessler. You know, he like sleeps with all of his amiibos and cuddles up with them at night.
So that's exactly why they will maintain full creative control of their properties.
But you know, Kale, we have seen what happened with the Mario movie. Can you imagine what it would be like if they actually pitched these movies?
Ooh.
Let's imagine. All right. Picture this. We open on an ace starfighter pilot out to save the galaxy from a giant space ape that killed his father. Also, he's a fox.
Yeah, star pilots are always super foxy.
Totally. And bonus, he's a literal fox, like the animal.
I don't remember discussing that.
It's okay, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
His inner circle are a bunny, a falcon, and a really annoying frog. But all are starfighter pilots, and they've all amputated their lower legs and replaced them with bionic ones so that the high G-forces can't force the blood down into their feet and make them black out during tight dogfight maneuvers.
Ugh, I thought they were supposed to be cute.
Yeah, really cute.
Okay, our hero is an avatar in a fantasy kingdom at war.
And he has to guide the troops in battle. But here's the best part. Between battles, he strategically decides which of his troops gets to hook up with each other so that his children will end up having super powerful special abilities that make his army stronger.
One of the troops he hooks people up with is a preteen girl. But it's totally okay, because she's really a 1,000-year-old dragon in disguise. It's not creepy at all.
All right, I think if there's one thing that we can all get behind, it's that ducks are horrible and we should totally be shooting them.
This is the story of a brave hunter who does just that. Except his dog is a jerk, and he laughs at him when he misses a duck.
Get it? The dog's a dick. It was kind of a twist, but you know, think about it.
Think about it.
Okay, picture this. You're a young kid working hard to pay off your new house in a town full of very opinionated, self-righteous, anthropomorphic animals. Yet all of you are in the same boat because you face the wrath of the town villain, a raccoon who demands that you pay a mortgage.
And I know what you're thinking, and yes, there is tons of garden weeding.
The kingdom of Hyrule is in ruins. All of the heroes are gone, except for one elf and his best friend.
Who looks like this.
So earlier we talked about how totally confusing the emergence of the hero shooter genre has been for literally everyone. So can developers declare a genre before an audience does? And can we learn something by the unexpected rise of the MOBA?
Okay, that is why we're excited to talk about our guest today. He is the former owner of an esports team.
Stellar Lotus!
Yeah, hopefully he can help us out. And he's also an ex-school teacher from Cincinnati.
Joining us on our oversized television, please welcome Mr. Jesse Cox. What's up, Jesse?
What? Hello?
So I have a question for you. How does a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman dropped in a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar?
Where in the Caribbean? This is very important. Where in the Caribbean?
I don't know. I'm not the one that saw Hamilton. That was you. Happy
You know
birthday,
what?
by
I
the way.
did, and it was awesome.
Well, we brought you here because we wanted to ask you, and if you could help summarize to our audience exactly what a MOBA is and how it has gotten this huge rise of fame in the video game community.
I mean, when it comes to MOBAs, I think it comes down to competition with low play time, with people just enjoying the like I can play with my friends. So it's all the things you love about MMORPGs, but without the ridiculous amount of hours you have to put into it. You know, there was WoW and the MMORPGs, and then people were like, can I have that experience just without devoting 5 nights a week to that? And that's what a MOBA is.
And now we have this huge confusion of a hero shooter, and Kale's been a little confused, as well as pretty much everybody on the set, of the difference between a MOBA and a hero shooter.
The hero shooter seems to be coming from, I guess, a lot of publishers and press. Do you think that, you know, the average gamer should just accept this brand new name for a genre?
Hell, if they accepted MOBA, that's a garbage term as is. If they can accept that, they can accept, you know, a hero shooter or like super soaker or whatever the hell they're gonna call it. Yeah. When MOBAs came out, everyone was like, well, we gotta make a MOBA. Like, oh, I hear the kids are into those, we gotta make a MOBA. And then when there was MMORPGs, it was like, oh, we gotta make the newest WoW, we gotta kill that thing. And it's just the way the game industry works. And so I feel like now you see Overwatch and Battleborn and Gigantic and all these different games coming out, and it's all trying to tap into that desire for this new little niche that people want to get into. Yeah, if you want to know how to explain it to everyone on set, camera guy, are you listening? Imagine you're playing an objective-based, character-driven, first-person shooter that is small teams with multiple abilities and things.
Did you get
Done.
that, camera
Perfect.
guy?
Got it.
Okay,
Everybody
good.
understand
Get
it now?
it?
Like
He's
it's totally
nodding,
understandable.
He's doing one of these.
Yep. All right, Jesse, can you explain, summarize for the audience how MOBAs rose to such prominence?
As the official representative of the MOBA community, I feel like I'm the perfect person to ask this question to. The MOBA genre came from the Dota mod, which Defense of the Ancients, which was a StarCraft, Warcraft crazy mod that they had for a long time, and there was a high demand to play just that. People bought those games just to play that, and it was fan driven, and it was created from the ground up. And so when people saw that, things like Dota 2 and League and Heroes of Newerth and stuff were created in order to cash in on that fan, like, oh my god, I just want to play more of this. And that's how it grew. It grew from the fans demanding this style of game because it was short, it was sweet, it was competitive, it had tons of different characters, tons of different abilities. There was a learning curve that at first you were like, oh, I get this, and then realized later how like really intense it was. And that's where it all comes from, and that's why it's such like the perfect sweet spot of gaming right now.
Well,
and
let's actually talk about esports because you are a former esport team owner, and with all of these titles coming out into the marketplace, labeled either MOBA or hero shooter, which ones do you think actually have the viability, and which ones do you think will survive? What makes them survive?
There's gonna be room for everything as long as there's an audience for it and it isn't something that dies off real quick. But I mean, there was the XFL. So, you know, shout out to the XFL.
Shout out to the XFL, yeah.
The problem is, I think most competitive games now, there's some dude on staff immediately who's like, yo, what if we make this an esport though? So from the beginning, they are automatically trying to make it an esport. And that's why you sometimes have games that come out right away and we're like, hey, yeah, I know we're in beta, but this is totally an esport, guys. Overwatch. And, you know, it's really the fans who decide if it will be one.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on the show and helping us unravel all of this MOBA shooter madness.
Yeah, you're awesome. I'm gonna hug it out.
You want to hug it out?
I'm gonna hug it out.
He's gonna hug it. He's gonna hug him. Thank you,
Thanks for
Jesse,
coming on the
for
show,
explaining
Jesse.
to Kale what a hero shooter is. All right, so we learned a lot from Jesse just now, and I think we got some stuff to break down.
We still have to define hero shooter. I feel like it's not done. I've texted you in the middle of the night. I've watched Total Biscuit videos.
Yeah.
I want to know if a hero shooter is different enough from a MOBA to have its own title and genre.
It's, it's an interesting one because a hero shooter is essentially just an FPS, a competitive FPS, right?
Yes.
With RPG elements.
Okay.
So it has like a hero kit. So you have hero abilities. So they take the focus less off of the map and they put it more onto the hero. But something like Battleborn is different from Overwatch.
Battleborn is a hero shooter and Overwatch is not.
Overwatch is a hero shooter and Battleborn is being grouped into hero shooter, but it plays more like a MOBA because it has towers and lanes and minions and camps, and you have gear too that you can enhance your character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that we have to work so hard to define it, I'm getting the feeling that this is some very inside baseball, like super gamer type of game.
What kind of an audience do you think is attracted to the MOBA?
I think because it's so intricate and it's like a chess match and you kind of already have to be able to wrap your head around like the whole gaming space. I think it's hardcore, not hardcore. I'll put it to you this. It's more, gaming is a hobby and it is not just an entertainment thing for you. So it's like a part of your life, you play it and it's not just like, well, I'm gonna hang out and play, Mario with my friends.
I love that. It is a hobby. It's like something more than just to pass the time. People who play MOBAs, they're investing themselves into it. The people who play them hardcore, at least.
Yeah, I was talking to Mr. Sessler before the show.
Sessler?
Yeah, and we were talking about like I'm not a MOBA guy. Like I saw that and I was just like, oh no, it's a little scary for me.
I would say the main element that distinguishes the hero shooter from the MOBA
Oh, here we go.
is the gameplay. So it's a MOBA, you get gear upgrades, you kill minions, you capture towers, and you're moving to get into the other people's core or their space, right?
There's a progression
It's like an
element.
end zone, like football. You're going to the end zone on either side.
Get to the other side of the map because that's where your mission is, rather than like it's a competitive who can get to there first.
Right, and you're not like gearing up your character as you go. Where do you think that other games have evolved though? Have you seen like any other games that have come out of a different genre and created its own?
One of the ones I thought of was like freemium games. They weren't like, someone wasn't just like, I'm going to create a freemium game. They just like made a game and they were like, well, we got to make money off of this. How about like we charge for like, you could get trees or something like that. And people are like, well, I need those trees. Give me those trees.
You know, it's like when Farmville was going on. People were
Yeah.
like, I need to feed my llama. And I'm like, screw your llama.
People started making money, so then they started making freemium games. And it's the worst name for freemium.
Can you imagine if we started charging people in-app purchases for watching our show, even though we've already have a
Look, I want the
subscription?
money, but no.
No.
That's it.
But you guys know what you should do. Let's take a look at the history of MOBAs and what you can expect from each one of them.
These are all fantasy-based. There's minions and towers and camps and nexuses and lanes and meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow. You're on a team and they're on a team. Only one team wins. You know how teams work or how they are supposed to work.
Yeah, here's the list.
League of Legends, created by Riot Games. This is the most popular of all of the MOBAs. In League of Legends, the players take the role of an unseen summoner that brings forth and controls one of the 131 champions. But before you join an online team with 4 other random people in this world, a word to the wise, the community here is notoriously passionate about their game. I don't want to say they're not welcoming, but this is not a great MOBA for newcomers. If you want to try, go against the AI.
Dota 2, Defense of the Ancients. This is the granddaddy of all MOBAs and has some of the most hardcore fans, which explains why they had the biggest prize pool in esports history with $18 million. That's bigger than the PGA. Take that, golf. The game was originally a Warcraft mod, and when Valve acquired it, Blizzard didn't take too well to them holding onto their characters and hit them with a big ol' lawsuit. So Valve kept all the characters, but they just changed all the names. The gameplay sounds simple. Teams of 5 try to destroy each other's ancients, but with in-game leveling of your characters, it gets so much more intense and complicated than that. If you've never dabbled in a MOBA, this might not be a good one to try first.
Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard's answer to the MOBA genre, as the original design concept was created from mods in StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3. Heroes of the Storm features over 50 characters from 5 of Blizzard's original IPs, including Overwatch and the Lost Vikings. Remember them?
Yeah.
The community is very easy to play with, and the gameplay is relatively straightforward. You level up as a team, not as an individual, so you win together or you die together. If you're new to this genre, this is the MOBA we recommend that you start with.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Smite. In Smite, you play as a straight-up god, aka an immortal. The characters come from 8 different divine pantheons, including Egyptian, Greek, Hindu, Norse, and Roman mythology, and there are 76 gods in total. They all have different skins too, some of which are super fun. Smite differs from traditional MOBAs by offering a third-person perspective and console play. It's available on Xbox One now and will be on PS4 later this year, so this could be another one to try if you're interested in the MOBA experience.
Vainglory. Vainglory is the MOBA for mobile. It's available on both iOS and Android, so you can just pick it up on your phone. It features 3-on-3 play with 23 different hero characters. The game is incredibly responsive and beautifully designed for a touchscreen, offering a great way to learn the mechanics of a MOBA on the go. It's still a serious title in the genre though, so it's got a lot of tournaments played through the year, especially at places like PAX. Download it for free on your mobile device and give it a shot.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today.
No, seriously, we don't have any more time today.
Overwatch, guys. Look, I love you guys, but I'm just going to say Overwatch.
Overwatch.
So...
Okay, gotta go.
All right, let's do it.
Heroes never die.
Okay, I got it wrong way.